Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This is our last weekend Market Watch before the holiday break, but we will be returning in January with some changes to the format. I want to make the videos a little snappier and offer some more variety and content as well, so stay tuned for all that. But we will have one more video later this week before we do go on break. There is a Picks of the Month video for December 2022 coming out. As for today's video, though, the threshold will be $2. We're not going to talk about any card unless it's moving at least $2 up or down. And quickly, a couple things before we get into it. First off, thank you to all the folks that gave a super thanks over the last few videos. These are the viewers that gave super thanks tips during the last 3 videos, so I wanted to get everybody's name on here before I moved on to the holiday break. Whip actually gave on 2 different videos, but thank you to each and every one of you. As I always say, giving a super thanks is appreciated but never expected. Thank you to the viewers that do so, but just watching the videos, giving us a like, a subscription, a comment, that all helps a ton too. Thank you to all the viewers out there. And also, as you know, if you go to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use the Heroes promo code to save 10% on orders over $10. Currently, you can pre-order not only Phyrexia All Will Be One products there, but also Dominaria Remastered products. Remember, if your order's over $100 or it consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. Also, whenever you use the Heroes promo code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated. So thank you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's begin with the Standard Legal Spotlight, and this is where we talk about the Standard Legal cards that are moving the most this week. This time we have 4 cards to discuss. All of them are going down. Titania, Voice of Gaia. This is down $2.04 this week to $20.87. This, as well as 2 other Mythic Meld creatures from the Brothers War, are moving down in this section of the video, and that's because as more packs are getting cracked, some of these cards that had pretty high price points coming into the release season are starting to normalize down. Not too surprising. When it comes to gameplay, Standard, this is in Jund Windgrace, and Modern, this is in Sultai Aggro. It is also already a fairly popular commander and in the 99 of a number of builds there, including one around an Eternal Legal card from the Brothers War, Titania, Nature's Force. Liliana of the Val is next. Innistrad is down $3.37 to $42.97. The Modern Masters 2017 copy is down $3.61 to $38.31. By now, you know the drill on this card. It was reprinted in Dominaria United, making it Standard and Pioneer legal, but also bringing a lot of new copies to the marketplace. Sees a lot of play, though. In Standard, this is in Grixis midrange, Mono Black midrange, and more. Pioneer, it's in Mono Black midrange, Orzhov midrange, and more there. Modern, you see this in Jund. Legacy, it's in Mono Black Pox. This is also in a number of commander builds, including Tergrid God of Fright / Tergrid's Lantern. Mishra, Claimed by Gix. This is the second meld card from the Brothers War. It's down $3.81 this week to $30. In Standard, sometimes you see this in Reactive Sacrifice. Pioneer, sometimes Jund midrange, but really it's Commander that's made this card very expensive. It is a wildly popular commander, plus it's in the 99 of a number of builds too, like Mishra, Tamer of Makfawa, and Megatron Tyrant, one of the Transformers cards. Additionally, this is a good upgrade to the Brothers War commander deck, Mishra's Burnished Banner, and it's in fresh builds around the front-facing commander. From there, Mishra Eminent One. And the last card in this section is the third meld card. It is Urza, Lord Protector. This is down $3.86 this week to $31.43. It is getting a little standard play in Azorius Control, but again, this card is expensive because of commander. It is a very popular commander. It's in the 99 of many builds there too, old and new. It's a good upgrade to the other Brothers War commander deck, Urza's Iron Alliance, and it's in fresh builds around the front-facing commander. From there, Urza Chief Artificer. Plus, you see this in builds around a card from the main set too, Urza Prince of Krug, and it's in decks around an Eternal Legal card from the Brothers War, the Archimandrite. And it appears at times in the Optimus Prime Hero Commander build too. That's another one of the Transformers cards. That quickly takes us to the Pioneer Legal Spotlight. We have 3 cards to discuss, all moving up this time. Cyclonic Rift, the one from Return to Ravnica. This goes up $2.07 this week to $39.99. It is a highly played commander card in many decks, including some new ones. Urza Lord Protector and Kinestos Priest of Thassa from Jumpstart 2022. It is also a good upgrade to Urza's Iron Alliance and found in new builds around Urza Chief Artificer. But additionally, this was in a Kanji Skywarden commander deck on a Shuffle Up and Play episode from Tolarian Community College this week. Could have brought some attention to it. Next, we have Finale of Devastation. This goes up 257 this week to 4274. In Pioneer, you see this in Asmo Food. It's also getting a little more commander play now in a new build. You see this at times in Titania Voice of Gaia decks. And the last card in this section is Darksteel Forged. The Darksteel copy is up 465 this week to 2981. The Plane Chase copy is up 829 to 2476. You might remember last week that I said the Plane Chase copy was weirdly undervalued and I would expect it to be going up. Well, here we are. When it comes to gameplay, this has been hot because it has been seeing more commander play. It is a good upgrade to Urza's Iron Alliance, and it's a new builds around Urza Chief Artificer. Additionally, this is in builds around cards from the main set, Urza Lord Protector, Liberator Urza's Battlethopter, and Urza Prince of Krug. And now we find ourselves at the Modern Legal Spotlight. We got some cards going down, some going up. Let's take a look. Bloodstained Mire, that original Onslaught copy is down 210 this week to 7539. A couple of these Onslaught fetch lands are moving down this week. You're going to see another one in just a second. They have been generally softer since the price surges that happened earlier this year. Like all fetch lands though, this sees play in many decks in multiple formats, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, and Commander. Force of Vigor from Modern Horizons. This goes down 214 this week to 2963. Now, this was added to the list with the Brothers' War, but even though that's not the most efficient way to get new copies of a card in circulation, it does put some copies out there, and that's why you're seeing this take a little bit of a hit when it comes to the value. Now, on the other hand, when it comes to gameplay, this card does see a ton of it. This is a highly played Modern sideboard card in Crashing Footfalls, Yawgmoth, and many other decks. In Legacy, it gets a lot of sideboard play too. It's in Elves, Selesnya Depths, and much more there. When it comes to the Vintage format, you see this in main decks as well as sideboards. It's in Hogak Vine, Dredge, and more in that format. Yep, this even gets commander play too. It can even be found in a couple new builds. Kibo Uktabi Prince from Jumpstart 2022, and Ambassador Blorpity Blorp Boop, which is one of the eternal legal cards from Infinity. I probably didn't need to tell you Blorpity Blorp Boop was from Infinity, but anyway, Yawgmoth Transposition. The Modern Horizons copy is up 247 this week to 3742. The Time Spiral Remastered copy is up 316 to 3845. The reason this is soft is pretty simple. It's getting reprinted in Dominaria Remastered, so more copies are on their way. It is in modern Yawgmoth builds, and those continue to stay pretty popular. Plus, it's a fairly popular commander too, and found in the 99 of many builds there as well. Here's that second Onslaught fetch land I promised. It is Polluted Delta. It goes down 481 this week to 8920. And the last card moving down today is Cold Steel Heart from Jumpstart 2022. It goes down 965 to 1499. Alright. So some of these new Jumpstart cards are still trying to find their price point. Here's just one example. The previous copies of this card are between $1 and $3, with the exception of the Cold Snap Foil, which is about $20. But the cards from Jumpstart 2022 with the anime art, they've been very popular and have had high price points coming out of the release. Now, as cards get into circulation, they are stabilizing down, but this is still pricey, as you can see here. Ultimately, we'll have to see where this and some of these other anime cards land. When it comes to gameplay, this is seeing more commander play now and some new builds. Isu the Abominable, which is a Jumpstart 2022 card, and it is another card found in builds around Urza Prince of Krug and Urza Lord Protector. Cavern of Souls from Ultimate Masters goes up 216 this week to 62.95. So this was reprinted in Double Masters 2022. It's been soft ever since then, but it is rebounding a little bit this week. It gets a lot of play. In Modern, it's an Amulet Titan, Merfolk, and much more, but the real reason we're seeing this tick back up is Legacy and Vintage. In those formats, you're going to find this in those new initiative decks that a lot of people are excited about. Now, I've said this in previous videos. A lot of people say, but wait, Legacy and Vintage, they don't really impact card prices. Not that many people play those decks. However, what you have to remember is it's not just about players. When a new deck becomes hot in Legacy or Vintage, you do get that FOMO kicking in. People think these cards are going to keep going up in value. They want them maybe for a commander deck or for their collection. So they go out and they buy copies whether they play Legacy, Vintage, or not. So many cards from those deck lists have a chance of increasing in value regardless of gameplay. You also have the collector's market, and speculators are going to pick up extra copies of these cards thinking that maybe they'll go up in value over time and I can sell them at a higher price in the future. Back to gameplay though, aside from the initiative decks, this is also in Legacy Doomsday, Vintage Humans, and much more in both of those formats. Plus, you know this is a big commander card in lots of decks there, including new ones like Myral Shield of Argiv from the Brothers War, for example. Gemstone Caverns from Time Spiral. This is up $2.44 this week to $49.97, and this has been a card we've been talking about a lot lately. It continues to move up due to an increased amount of play it's been seeing. In Modern, you see this in Crashing Footfalls, Hardened Scales, and more. I am seeing this occasionally in those initiative decks as well in both Legacy and Vintage. We'll have to see if that sticks going forward. Plus, it also gets a good amount of Commander play in a variety of builds. One more time for 2022? Yep, I think so. Polluted Bonds from Shadowmoor. This goes up $3.71 this week to $29.92. And yes, this is a Shadowmoor rare that's yet to be reprinted. If you will indulge me one more time this year, here's my one per video. This is a Shadowmoor rare, and you might remember during that time period in Magic, there was a recession in the game. Less packs were cracked. So rares from this time that have not yet been reprinted tend to get a little spiky when people pay attention to them. So why are people paying attention to this? Well, it is a good Commander card to deal with land-centric builds, and there are quite a few out there circulating around right now. New Commanders have brought this strategy to the table. Cards like Titania Voice of Gaia, Titania Nature's Force, Greensleeves Morrow Sorcerer, Soul of Windgrace. Because of those cards and more, you see Polluted Bonds in a number of decks running Black and Commander right now, including a new one around a card from the Brothers War, Gix Yawgmoth Praetor. And finally for this section, another card we've talked a lot about recently, Mycosynth Golem. The copy from the list goes up $5 to $45.06. The 5th Dawn copy is up $5.60 to $45.99. So this is moving due to an increased amount of Commander play. It's another good upgrade to Urza's Iron Alliance and a new builds around Urza Chief Artificer. Plus it's in Commander builds around cards from the Brothers War main set. Liberator Urza's Battlethopter, Urza Lord Protector, Mishra Tamer Mekfawa. Plus it's appearing in a couple Commander decks around Transformers, Megatron Tyrant, and Optimus Prime Hero. And that takes us to the Vintage Spotlight. This is where we talk about cards that see play in Legacy, Vintage, but also cards that are popular among collectors this week. Now, when it comes to some of these older Magic cards, the prices you see on the screen might be a little more reminiscent of what you might see on a price tracking website. And that's because, at least in some examples, we don't see a lot of these cards for sale in high grade, and we definitely don't necessarily see a lot of sales in any given week. So in those cases, we do have to lean a little bit harder on asking price. Also, too, the more iconic older Magic cards, the price you see on the screen could fall somewhere in between the price of a high-grade raw and high-grade graded copy. But if the price you're viewing isn't somewhere in the middle in between those two types of cards, or just in general, if the price on the screen is not matching up with what I'm seeing when it comes to recent sales, I will point that out. We'll begin with Chrome Mox, the original Mirrodin copy. It goes up $3.03 this week to $81.37. Now, this is part of the Secret Lair 30th Anniversary Countdown Kit, and because of that, the card has been soft, but this original copy is rebounding a little this week. You will also find this in Legacy Initiative builds. It's also in Mono Red Prison and much more there. In Vintage, it's in Initiative builds there as well. Plus, it's in Oops All Spells and much more there. Additionally, you see this in a variety of Commander builds. Necropotence, this is the Deckmasters Garfield vs. Finkel copy. This particular copy only comes in foil. It goes up $3.80 this week to $94.34. And this copy is rebounding after some recent losses. Plus, this is another card that is in the Secret Lair 30th Anniversary Countdown Kit. In Vintage, you see this in Doomsday. And it is getting additional Commander play in some Gix Yawgmoth Praetor builds now, too. Goblin Welder, that Urza's Legacy copy, still moving up. This is up $4.30 this week to $23. This is in Legacy Painter builds, and as you can imagine, it is getting a lot more Commander play now because of the Brothers War. It is a good way to get Portal to Phyrexia into play, and it's a good upgrade to Mishra's Burnished Banner. It's in fresh builds around Mishra Eminent One, as well as Ashnod the Uncaring from there. Also in builds around cards from the main set, too, like Mishra Tamer of Makfawa, Queen Caleb and Krug, Mishra Claimed by Gix, and it's in Megatron Tyrant builds, too, in Commander. Mana Crypts. Now, last week we saw the Eternal Masters copy going up in value. This week, these three copies are going up. Double Masters up $3.91 to $188.80. The Mystery Booster copy at $4.52 to $188.88. And the original Media Promo Book Giveaway copy, that one is up $5.31 to $335.10. So it is worth noting that Wizards did sell some more Mystery Booster Convention Edition boxes as part of a Secret Lair bundle called Festival in a Box not too long ago, so there are more copies of this getting out there into circulation. However, it's a popular card rebounding after some recent losses. In Vintage, it's in 4-color Tinker, Paradoxical Outcome, and more. It's also in a lot of Commander decks. It is a good upgrade to the Heads I Win Tails You Lose Secret Lair commander deck, which is finally getting into people's hands now, and it's now found in many Urza Lord Protector builds too. Additionally, the card was mentioned in a video about the most needed commander reprints in 2023 by Nitpicking Nerds on their YouTube channel this week. My J Jin, this is the Arabian Nights copy, and it is another card some used to upgrade the Heads I Win Tails You Lose Secret Lair commander deck. It goes up $12.85 this week to $81.30. Hellfire is up $15.92 to $173.48. Psionic Blast from Unlimited is up $16.22 to $75. Gaia's Cradle from Urza Saga goes up $27.08 to $891.58. This is in Legacy Elves, 5-color Zenith, sometimes Maverick. In Vintage, you see this in Hogak Vine, Squee Hollow Vine. Plus, it is a fantastic commander card in many builds, including a new one, Titania Voice of Gaia. Lich from Unlimited goes up $56.06 this week to $270. Vesuvan Doppelganger from Unlimited goes up $59.95 to $360.07. Badlands from Unlimited moves up again this week, up $69.25 to $617.75. Tropical Island, the revised copy, is up $629 this week to $549.99. The Unlimited copy goes up $140.146 to $1,103.96. Okay. First off, revised copies of these dual lands overall are continuing to rebound from the dips that they took after the 30th anniversary edition announcement. In fact, you'll see 2 more moving up in just a moment. When it comes to the Unlimited copy, is that price for real? Well, I have seen high-grade raw copies sell for about that price, and a graded 9 sold recently for about $2,000. Bayou from Unlimited up $356.88 this week to $1,200. Is that for real? Well, high-grade raw copies can sell for about $1,000, and I did see a graded 9.5 sell for over $2,000 recently. Plateau, the revised copy up $303 this week to $309.45. The Unlimited copy up $360.51 to $1,133. When it comes to true sales for this Unlimited copy, I have seen some of these sell for about that price point raw. Haven't seen any high-grade graded copies sell for a while. Obviously, when they do, they're going to sell for more. Underground Sea, the revised copy is up $18.30 to $790.39. The Unlimited copy is up $365 to $1,850. So again, is that Unlimited price for real? Well, high-grade raw copies have sold recently for about $1,500, and a graded 9.5 sold at auction for $3,700. Power 9 time with Mox Sapphire from Unlimited. This goes up $1,040 to $7,039.99. Is that for real, though? Well, I say this all the time. Power 9 prices are really hard to nail down, simply because there's just not a lot of copies for sale, especially high-grade copies, and even fewer of those copies sell any given week. So typically, when you see changes week to week when it comes to Power 9, those are really changes in asking price more than anything 99% of the time. And every week the landscape could change, basically. So one week there could be more high-grade copies than the previous week, or one week there could be more graded copies than the previous week. All those factors come into play when it comes to tracking these prices, but basically at the end of the day, Power 9 is worth what somebody's willing to pay that day for it. Now when it comes to this card, recently a graded 8 sold for about $5,850, so that at least gives you an idea. Same story with the last card in this section. This is Mox Ruby from Unlimited, up $1,199.99 to $9,499.99 in theory. Well, a graded 9 sold at auction recently for about $5,600. And that takes us to the Commander Spotlight, where maybe we'll see some cards that are a little more affordable. Now, all the cards in this section are moving, at least in part because of Commander. However, that might not be the only reason they're moving, and in some cases that might not even be the key driver, but I'll let you know as we go through. Species Specialist, this is up $2 to $8.47. This has been a solid Commander card in Marrow builds and more, but now there are 2 Jumpstart 2022 cards that are pushing this in the Commander format. It can be found in builds around Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm and Zask, Skittering Swarmlord. Next, we have Razorclaw Bear. This is up $208 this week to $61.67. This Portal Second Age card has yet to be reprinted, and it's a little dry online this week. It does see a tad bit of Commander play, typically in a Eula Queen Among Bears builds. Black Market Connections. This goes up $251 this week to $32.43. This is from the Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate Party Time Commander deck, and it's been a solid Commander card in many builds since it came out, but now it is seeing more play in new builds like Mishra Claimed by Gix and Gix Yawgmoth Praetor. Preacher is up 267 this week to 66.75. This reserve list card from the Dark dried up a little online this week. It does see a tad bit of Commander play, though. And everything I said about the last card is true for this one. Goblin Wizard, it goes up 347 this week to 89.78. Every once in a while, some of these reserve list cards from the Dark start to jump. And our last card today is Norwood Priestess, up 442 this week to $118.18. Like Razorclaw Bear, this is a Portal Second Age card that is yet to be reprinted, and it is hard to find in high grade online right now. Unlike Razorclaw Bear, though, it doesn't really see much play to speak of. And just in case you're wondering, I don't have a premium spotlight this week. Overall, as you can see, the market was a little slower. And sure, there's always premium cards jumping and crashing, but I like to pick things that feel like they're moving substantially, that the movement isn't going to be temporary, and I just didn't see anything that caught my eye this week. With that being said, that's going to do it for the weekend edition of the Market Watch until next year. Like I said earlier, we are going to do one more video this week, a Picks of the Month video. I'm excited about this one. It is a topic that some people have been requesting, so stay tuned for that. To everybody out there, all the viewers, if you're still with me here at the end of the video, have a great holiday season. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.